Multimedia project exposing racism in brands, the case of Balenciaga.
Racism in products is the practice of designing, marketing, or selling products in a way that perpetuates racial stereotypes, prejudice, or exclusion. This can manifest itself in different examples of racism contained in different industries, from fashion to technology and entertainment products. For example, racism in products refers to the practice of designing, marketing, or selling products in a way that perpetuates racial stereotypes, prejudice, or exclusion. This can manifest itself in many forms in different areas. Several aspects of racism in products and business. The first is about stereotypical imagery and racist behavior in products. Some products use imagery that reinforces racial stereotypes and depicts certain ethnic or racial groups in a narrow and often inaccurate way. This can lead to the perpetuation of harmful biases and misunderstandings. Also, in some historical contexts, some restaurants have openly practiced racial discrimination, denying service to individuals based on race or ethnicity. These institutions often reflect systemic racism and segregation. These discriminatory practices were part of a larger system of racial segregation in which African Americans and other marginalized groups faced exclusion in a variety of public spaces, including restaurants, hotels, and public transportation. Signs that say whites only or colored are used to designate where people of different races can and cannot go. Second, we talk about cultural appropriation. Products that appropriate elements of a specific culture without proper understanding or respect can lead to racial discrimination. This is common in the fashion world, where traditional clothing, accessories, or symbols of fringe cultures are used for aesthetic purposes, and where racial projects define the human body, social structures, and their interactions, without recognizing its cultural significance. This is closely related to the brand. We will study the case of Balenciaga.
The main purpose of this project is to shed light on the issue of racism in advertising and promotional culture, specifically studying the luxury fashion brand Balenciaga, in order to stimulate awareness, dialogue, and critical thinking.
Balenciaga.
Balenciaga.
Balenciaga. Balenciaga.
Balenciaga has a history of problematic behavior, including many acts of racism. Two far-reaching events attracted widespread criticism. One case included a video capturing the brand's racism toward a Chinese family, and the other involved cultural appropriation. Arguably the most iconic of them all, the sweatpants were slammed by some fashion and black history experts as cultural appropriation. As you can see, the pants in the video use an overlapping design, which makes people think of the cultural concept of wearing loose pants in black culture. Because behind the simple decoration, there are legacy racial and cultural issues. For example, in American society at that time, cities across the country were passing so-called anti-sagging ordinances. These ordinances prohibit the wearing of pants that expose underwear or skin. Violation of these regulations may result in fines or imprisonment. When a high-profile brand displays and sells its designs, it's important to consider historical context, especially when drawing out race and controversial cultures. Cultural appropriation in fashion has become a contentious issue, with conflicts rising from globalization emerging. Brands that leverage cultural values for promotion should be aware of the potential damage to their reputation. The practice of cultural appropriation in brands is considered wrong, and it is important to have a proper understanding of cultural history and origins. Coincidentally, a video quickly became popular on Chinese social networks. The content is that Balenciaga stores are suspected of racist discrimination. The events leading up to the video occurred when the young victim's mother faced a confrontation from a group of Albanian men who accused her of jumping in line. Faced with threats from these men, her son stepped up to protect her. As tensions escalated, security personnel intervened, Inexplicably, the young Chinese man and his mother were kicked out of the store as victims while the Albanian man was allowed in. Although the brand immediately issued an apology statement, this kind of racial discrimination also caused Chinese citizens to greatly oppose the Balenciaga brand as a fashion icon and a well-known luxury brand. While promoting and selling products under the slogan of human rights, it is doing the exact opposite of its slogan behind the scenes. Not only these cases, but the Balenciaga brand also has advertising campaigns that disrespect children and even abuse them. These controversial ads also sparked boycotts from celebrities on social media and a series of social movements. For example, Kim Kardashian, who has always been close to Balenciaga and has worn Balenciaga clothes to major events many times, also stated after the incident, she said she was re-evaluating her relationship with the brand but had not yet made any substantive decision. All in all, addressing racism in products requires conscious efforts by different brands and products to promote diversity, inclusion, and cultural sensitivity. This includes embracing different perspectives in product design, marketing, and advertising. Consumer awareness also plays a vital role in holding companies accountable for discriminatory practices. The project will address social issues of racism in brands, with a specific focus on Balenciaga. I will explore how advertising and promotional culture perpetuate racism and reinforce harmful stereotypes and biases. Issue is urgent for the luxury fashion industry, and my project will highlight the need for change and accountability. This video project aims to be an impactful and informative multimedia project and encourage critical scrutiny of the practices of the luxury fashion industry. The importance of racial inclusivity in luxury fashion events and its impact on consumer perceptions is highlighted.